Hello everyone. Happy Sunday. It's Tanya here for your weekly episode of Activating the Witch Within. Hope you're having a beautiful, magical, fantastic day. And I'm just going to go ahead and take a moment to share this out. And if you've been watching this show weekly, I really appreciate it. I'm loving getting all the messages and questions coming through, so keep them coming. If you ever have a question or a topic that you'd like me to cover, please feel free to let me know and shoot me a message. Hey, would you mind doing a little process around this, or I'm struggling with this right now, and I'd be more than happy to address that on the next week's show. So keep the questions coming, keep the comments coming. Hi Val, how are you doing today? I'm just going to take a quick second and share this out, so give me 1 second and then we're going to get started. We're going to talk about, I'm going to do a little storytelling today, and we're going to talk about activating your superpowers and how I have had, many experiences that have activated my awareness, I should say. I have activated my magic and given me the gift to be able to share the magic with others and share how my experience of expanding my possibilities has really, led me on this path of now being able to help others expand their possibilities. So hi Glenn, how are you? So I'm just going to share this out real quick. Give me a second. And that's, of course, if I can find it. Sometimes it doesn't pop up right away. Where is it? And if you are hopping on, hi Glenn, if you are hopping on, I'm excited to be sharing the story that I'm going to be sharing today. A friend of mine posted in a Facebook group some questions about just life and whatnot, and I mentioned in her post, hey, I flew an airplane, and she goes, what? I have to hear that story. And I'm like, oh, you know what? I'll talk about it on my live. So Shidia, if you're watching this on live or in the replay, this episode is for you. And let me just get this shared out. If I can find it, here it is. And share. And of course it's, let's see, trying to find this. So Lightworker, live feed, live now, and one more and I will be good to go. Thanks Glenn for your patience since you're on here with me. Share now public, and one more. Boy, takes forever. I'm looking, if you are a VA and you're looking for somebody to post videos for, shoot me a message because I need help. There we go. Live now, and I will be done with this. Okay. Yay! That part's done. So, igniting your brilliance. When I am working with a client long term, the end goal that I'm always shooting for is helping them to ignite their inner brilliance, ignite their inner magic. Part of the reason why I call this show Activating the Witch Within, the witch for me stands for that magical place inside, that magical place that we all have where our excitement is birthed from, where our joy is birthed from, where, our passion leads us. And I always love to think of it as when we are really connected to our soul plan and we are really anchored into our higher self, that we are able to, come to this stillness inside of having that mission be leading us. And when we're on that mission, nothing can stand in our way. And it's just a beautiful process. And part of my own journey, which I'm going to talk about here today, of activating my superpower was, how my relationship with synchronicity has changed over the years. So I do promise that if you listen to this whole story that I'm going to share today with me, that you might have, or you may have some shifts around your relationship with synchronicity after hearing my whole story in this particular instance of some superpowers of mine being activated. And I've had multiple, I could go on and on with all the stories, so I'm just going to share one today. But at this time in my life, this was maybe, I want to say 6 years ago now, and I was in the middle of a divorce. I had lost my job. I had lost my car maybe at that point. I can't remember. I think it was just the job, and my unemployment was going to be running out. Basically, I was like in complete doubt, totally worried about my future. I felt completely stuck, stagnant. I was really, really, really stressed out. And I was able to move that into trust. I was able to move into having excitement again in life. I was able to gain that inner confidence and that inner sense of freedom to move me out of that very hard and challenging time of my life and into much more peace and calm and serenity. And, now I have the gift of being able to support others in their process and their journeys of taking stuckness and stagnation and going into this place of having the passion and the magic in life and that meaning. Sometimes it just feels like we're racing through life and it's flying by us so fast because we're so busy with all the doing. And then if we're also practicing our spirituality, trying to fit that in to this very busy world. And at the end of the day, it's like, God, I wish I would have been able to get more done. And realizing that we don't have to have this, very rigid mindset about, what a meaningful and purposeful day looks like, and how when we are embracing the moment and being present, we really can move from that worry, doubt place into that trusting and loving ourselves unconditionally through the process. So a good analogy with any transformational process, I think, is the bamboo, where the seed will go in the ground and it'll just sit there and look like it's doing nothing forever. And then after a while, I think over a year, it sprouts and it just grows like massively, really, really quick. So when we're in that rut or that pull, like when I was in the divorce, everything, like all the dirt and everything, felt like it was on top of me and I was just stuck, and I couldn't see all the movement that was happening on the inside, helping me to get ready to propel forward, to really be able to launch my dreams and desires in a new way. So the story I'm going to tell is about a friend of mine who passed away. He was like my brother from another mother. And we were really close. And at that time in my life, he was the only person that I believed when he told me everything was going to be okay. I believed him. And just not being able to pick up the phone and call him and say, oh my God, my life's falling apart. Tell me everything's going to be okay. I need to hear it. He wasn't there to call. And there was nobody else in my life at the time that I could call where I knew I would actually believe him. And I've had, mediumship type experiences several times in my life. And at this point in time, he had never visited me. So he had been gone for a couple of years. And I was kind of looking out for him like, hey, when's he going to say hi? When's something going to happen? And nothing happened. And then in some of my astral travels is when I have had direct connection with people on the other side. And one day I was in a lucid kind of astral travel dream, and I was running around a park in the San Diego area, Torrey Pines State Park, and there's all these trails and it's really beautiful, and I'm running with my kids, and we get down to the area where the trails turn into the beach and then go to the ocean. And I'm sitting at this log. I'd been there before, and my friend is standing at the ocean, and he turns around and he's just beaming. He's just absolutely beaming, and he's sending me this smile of just not only that everything's okay and that he's okay, but he gives me this look and kind of telepathically shares with me, I wish I would have known. I wish I would have known I could have been this happy there. I wish I wouldn't have been so stressed out and so discontented in life that I forgot the meaning and I forgot the joy. And he's, again, kind of telepathically sharing this with me. And he goes, I know you're stressed. I know you're worried. You know, don't forget. Don't forget. That's the message that he kind of sent to me in this moment. Don't forget that you are magical. Don't forget that life is a gift. And if I wish I would have known what I know now. So I woke up from that experience and I was really pretty tearful. It was pretty emotional to see him. And I really sat with this message. And that week I had been invited on like a blind date. And I didn't know what we were doing. I didn't know where we were going. And so he goes, oh, well, let's meet at Torrey Pines, of course, right? And so I meet him at Torrey Pines, and sure as shit, we end up going parasailing. And I'm flying over that exact spot that my friend visited me within a couple of days of having that experience. Now all of a sudden I'm parasailing over that spot and doing whip-de-woos, and it was just absolutely beautiful. Then a few days after that, I had a job interview, and it was for a like a flight charter club type thing. They needed an office manager, so I go in. I'm, in the interview, it's going really well. And he's like, okay, do you want to go check out the planes? And I'm like, yeah, absolutely. So we go down to we go downstairs, out of the hangar and go to where the planes were. And he shows me, okay, well, this is for this one and this is for that one. Do you want to take one up? And I'm like, really? And he's like, yeah, you want to take one up? And I'm like, yeah, of course I want to take one up. And so I go to hop in the co-pilot seat. I had been in a Cessna before in Europe one time, and so I was kind of familiar. I go to hop in the co-pilot seat, and he goes, no, hop in the pilot seat. You're going to fly it. I'm like, what? No, I'm not. I've never had one day of flight training. I don't know what I'm doing. And he's like, no, you're going to be fine. I'll make sure that you know what you're doing, and I'm right here. So you're not flying it by yourself. If you make any mistakes, I'll make sure I catch them. So he has me taxi to the runway, and you don't use your hands when you're moving a plane on the ground. Like the stick is just for in the air. And I didn't know that at the time, of course. So it's really like this metaphor of having to sit on your hands to make it work, because I kept wanting to, use my hands and I couldn't. So I'm like all over the place. I'm like, are you sure about this? And so we end up taking off. And I took off the plane. And when we get in the air, my heart's beating out of my chest. I have a history of anxiety, right? I have a history of panic attacks. And I'm sitting here like, okay, what if I faint? What if I pass out? And he's like, don't worry, you're right. I'm right here. You're doing it. You're fine. So we get out over the water, and it's just gorgeous. And the anxiety just kind of fell away. And I just took in the fact, oh my God, I just took off a plane. I'm like, how much of that did I do on myself? And he's like, most of it. He goes, I helped a tiny, tiny little bit. I'm like, this is insane. So we get over, this is Carlsbad. We get over Carlsbad. We start going south toward La Jolla. And I look down, and right in that spot, again, that my friend had visited me, there are thousands of dolphins. And he's like, oh, let me take over. So he takes over, he swoops down, we go really low and look at all of these thousands of dolphins. And I just started crying in that moment, like just feeling my friend saying, believe more is possible. Believe that, a week ago you were crying and thinking that life was over, and within a week you're flying a frickin' airplane. That's how quick change can happen. Love, and everything's gonna be okay. And I could hear his voice in that moment looking at the dolphins, like everything really is gonna be okay. And it was just this powerful moment for me. And we took the plane back up, and I was able to fly the rest of the flight. We went down to the cove and turned around, and then when we came back, he had me do a circle, and I'm like all over the place. It was supposed to be this, and I'm like doing a Pac-Man looking thing. I'm all over the place, and I ended up landing the plane. And with, again, assistance, he was there helping me. So I kind of had these training wheels on flying this plane for the first time. And it was just this moment of, okay, I had this very non-physical experience, and then it's shown up in my reality. not only in the parasailing, but now in the flying. I went from a week ago feeling like my life was over to a week later feeling like the sky was literally the fucking limit. Holy shit, this is real. And it activated within me this trusting the process. It activated within me, your whole life can change in the time it takes to breathe. And it can be good. It doesn't always have to be like a catastrophic thing. Your life can change that quickly, and it can be just this amazing, brilliant, beautiful experience. And, just to be able to go from that uncertain place of survival and stress and worry to this, beautiful, expansive, brilliant opportunity to just look at everything from a different perspective. And from that moment forward, my relationship with synchronicity really changed. It went from being, noticing things a little bit to noticing things all the time. And now there's not a day that goes by that I don't see 777. There's not a day that goes by that I don't see 1, 2, 3 or 1, 2, 3, 4, and it's like these little nods or winks from the universe constantly reminding me you're on path, you're exactly where you need to be. And, I just was so grateful that anytime I am in that stressful place and anytime I am going through a lot of uncertainty, I can remember my friend's voice in my head saying, I wish I would have known. Don't forget that you're here to have joy and experience, passion and have all of the high level emotions that are here. And I know in my experience and many other of my colleagues who are light workers and way showers and healers, that a lot of us have had really painful journeys. We've had trauma, we've had intense life experiences. And I like to think that the lowest I've ever felt can be on one scale, and I'm able to feel the exact opposite now to the highest I've ever felt. And that my pendulum swing from the lowest to the highest is the way that it is because of those lows that I went through, because of going through 2 dark nights of the soul, once as a teenager and then once in my early 30s, and having that transformational process and being able to see it and being able to really see the light at the other side of the tunnel. Because when we're in the tunnel, when we're buried in the dirt, we can't feel or express that, sorry, I should have turned my notifications off. It's hard to feel and express joy and excitement when we feel like we're buried in the dirt, or we feel like we're really slow and stagnant. And, when all this shit hit the fan in my life, I got to choose, am I going to stay stuck? Am I going to stay small? Or am I going to take this as an opportunity to expand? Am I going to take this as this choice to fly and really let myself, feel supported by life? And we all are supported by life. And when, one of the services I provide people is helping them to connect to their higher self and being able to see, just like our left brain and our right brain work together and our masculine and feminine work together, that so too our higher self, our kind of 5D and beyond self, works in harmony with our 3D reality, ego, personality self, and that they are just two sides of the same coin. And to help activate that higher self within you. And one of the ways that I do this is a visualization process. When I'm working with people, we do a lot of magical visualizations where, that my angelic realm team comes in and holds the space for this relationship with the higher self to be activated. And I see it sometimes as, in Sleeping Beauty, the little pixies where they can fly around and be all cute and small. And then when they need to talk to the regular humans, they kind of blow up to their full size, have that conversation, have that 3D reality experience, and then they shrink back down. So it's almost like in these visualizations, I see our higher selves sitting on the throne in our heart. And I help people to be able to feel into that heart space and see that highest aspect of them sitting on the throne of their heart. And then we blow the picture up. So we invite the kind of the higher self pixie to fly out of the heart, open up to this full-size person and stand in front of you kind of like a mirror, and you can now feel your oneness to your higher self, and your higher self has the opportunity to really meet you in a way that sometimes we don't consciously think of it. If we could remember the entire span of our soul, we wouldn't get anything done. It would be like if we could see the full spectrum of color. We'd be on a constant acid trip. We wouldn't be able to find our keys or our car because of all the light waves and radio waves and everything flying around. So if we had this access to all the knowledge of our soul at once, we wouldn't get anything done. We'd be completely bombarded with information. But being able to really help to combine that relationship so you can get the messages that your higher self is sending you, and you can look out and trust your intuition and trust your inner guidance and inner knowing, and that relationship starts to develop. And with automatic writing and all these different practices that are unique for each person, because everybody's relationship to the unseen, to God, to the universe, source, whatever you want to call it, your higher self, everybody's relationship to these things is different. And so the way that would work for you, maybe automatic writing, maybe a moving meditation, visualizations, what might work for you may not work for your spouse or your best friend or your coworker. We all have different ways of doing things. So if you're on live and you kind of want to ask a question about this, feel free to ask me a question like, what's one of the ways that is good for me to activate, my relationship stronger with my higher self and relieve the messages? And I'll tune in to source and see what is coming through for you of, yes, this is a great way for you to help to develop this relationship deeper. Because again, I mentioned earlier, when we get on board with the mission of our soul, when we really commit fully to, yes, I am here to fulfill a very specific purpose. I am here for, the joy. I'm here for the excitement. I'm here for the lessons. I'm here for the journey. But I also want to do what I came here to do. And sometimes when that doubt or that confusion or that lack of clarity pops up, we don't know where that's coming from. And we all came with a lot to release. I know that the amount that I have released so far in my life is freaking insane. I walked around for a long time thinking, with the onion analogy, like, okay, I have a Teenage Mutant Ninja onion. Mine's like 100 times bigger than everybody else's. There's no way I'm going to peel off all these layers. And it took me a really long time to realize that not only do we not have to learn through struggle and strife and suffering all the time. Yes, there's always going to be pitfalls and always going to be challenges, but that isn't necessarily the only way we need to learn. Hi, Pat. How are you? It's nice to meet you. We're not here to, I kind of lost my train of thought. That's what happens when you're going back and forth in comments. But hey, Joanne. But if you are curious about your best way, that thought will probably come back. But if you are curious about one of your best ways to connect deeper to your higher self, feel free to ask. I can pull a card with you on it for some animal medicine that helps you connect to your higher self. I can also kind of look in and see if, automatic writing is a good thing for you, or, being outside, kind of moving meditations, being in nature. We all have our own ways of connecting to this love inside of ourselves and seeing this highest aspect of us as sitting on the throne of our heart. And I do a lot of inner child work with my clients too, and we'll also have like these little thrones next to our higher self where, if we have an inner, my first memory is going into eye surgery when I was 3 years old. I was born cross-eyed. So one of my first memories in life is getting ripped out of my dad's arms in a hospital lobby, and I'm holding onto my bear and I'm screaming, and they take me out of the room, rip me away from there, sit me on a chair, and I'm sitting there clutching my bear, and they put this huge mask over my face, and I go out. And I found out much later in life, almost, 30 plus years later, that part of me left my body at that time, and it wasn't safe for that part to come back. So from that moment of being this 3-year-old until I was in my late 30s, I didn't know that a part of me really had left my body and I hadn't felt safe. So I was really open from like my heart chakra up was nice and connected and open to source, but from my heart chakra down, I wasn't fully in my body. So I wasn't aware of that. And one of the beautiful practitioners that I've worked with over the years helped me to bring that part back to me. But after I started doing my own inner child work started doing inner child work with my clients, I really did see these fragmented parts as sitting next to the throne on my heart. So when I go into a higher self meditation where I'm really envisioning this eternal aspect of me sitting on the throne of my heart, I do have that little 3-year-old sitting next to her who felt like it wasn't safe to be here and that she had to leave her body. I do bring her back in. And then sometimes the teenager who went through a really hard time, she'll be on the other side. Sometimes I bring in my future self and she'll be there, and being able to have access to all of this information that's available to us always right here, right now. Like time is a linear construct, created so we know when to catch a plane, so we know when to be at a meeting, so I know when to go live every week, but we have access to all time right here, right now. We have access to all realities right here, right now. So knowing that, how do we play in that magic and use it for our benefit? How do we go in and pull back these parts that got scared, that left, that fragmented off, and bring them back home? How do we tap into the future us in 20 years, 30 years, and ask them questions of, what do I need to know now? Where are you right now, and what's a message that you would like to send to me? And being able to hear what this future aspect of us has to say. And it's usually like, guess what? You're right on time. You're doing a fantastic job. You are being too hard on yourself. You're criticizing yourself too much. You're wanting, you're not patient with this process and this unfolding of life. And we're right on time, but because it feels like we're pushed in this, this kind of the global picture is, I got to do more, I got to be more, I've got to get more done, I've got to get this, I want this, I have to have this. And even though from a spiritual perspective, we know better than to slip into it, it doesn't mean that we don't do it. We're human, and embracing our humanity is so important in any spiritual work. Like, we didn't come here to be perfect. We didn't come here necessarily to get it all done, but we did come here to give our best. We did come here to show up, and I dimmed my light for so long out of fear for being seen, out of fear for, what if, I fall on my face? What if this happens? What if that happens? And I stopped myself again and again and again and again. And that experience of flying the plane, of having my friend visit me, of parasailing, of having this kind of full-blown, like, shaking up of synchronicity, saying, it's time. It's time to find the joy and find the excitement and find what's going to make you fly, instead of shutting down. Find what's going to give you that joy, give you that excitement, instead of losing, your essence, really, and dimming your light to, mundane life stuff, bills and jobs and relationships, and, things are always getting thrown at us. And how do we stay on the bike of alignment? How do we stay on the bike of balance and fulfillment and peace when, it does feel like we're getting bombarded? And a lot of it has to do with following the joy, in my experience. A lot of it has to do with following the passion, following the excitement, and really leading with that, because like does attract like. And the more we are, following our excitement, the more that excitement is going to follow us. And the more we can, keep embodying these principles and giving it our best and practicing self-compassion, the more we're able to expand, because we're not holding ourselves back thinking that we should be somewhere where we're not. It's that coming into beingness with this now moment, knowing that it's exactly where we're meant to be. So before I do a little process on this, does anybody have any questions? Would anybody like a animal card for some animal medicine to help them connect a little deeper with their higher self? I'll give a second for any questions before we do a little process, and we'll do a little higher self piece. I think I did one last week, so this will kind of be another, allowing your higher self to come in integration. So let me see if there's any comments. Nope. Okay. So if it is safe to do so, I invite you to go ahead and close your eyes. This is going to be a transmission, activation to help you awaken to your brilliance. So let me just get everybody. So I'm going to intend for this transmission activation for everyone who's watching now or on replay. Just make sure I've got everybody. Okay, I've got everybody. So let's just arrive in this now moment. So let's just breathe into this now moment. Letting go of the past, letting go of 5 minutes ago, letting go of yesterday and all yesterdays. They ain't fucking real, people. Sorry for the F-bomb, but it's not real. It's already happened. It's over. And letting it go. And I'm actually seeing Archangel Raphael coming down and assisting with this letting go. And you can see him standing in front of you, and everything from your past, all vows, contracts, promises, oaths, agreements that are no longer serving you, your highest good, go ahead and hand it to him. He's more than happy to take it to help you recycle it. Any people, place, or things that you've given your power away, that you decided that their definition was more important than yours. Any, buddy that is ready to be let go of, who is not in your highest and best good, asks to leave your field now. And let's go ahead and just get you in your own energy bubble. So all people that might be in your energy field right now, other than children under 18, we're going to ask for them to leave your field now. Anything that is not your own sovereign energy. And a little tone is coming through to help with this. And if you see me rocking and moving, my pendulum's going nice and fast. So just letting that tone land, it's removing what's no longer yours to carry, what's no longer yours to hold, anything in the past that you were really, really ready to let go of. Again, it's not real. It's already happened. And now we're releasing the future. We're going to release tonight, tomorrow, and all tomorrows. And help you to just be in this here and now moment, calling all of you back into you, all soul fragments, pieces, places where you've given your power away, places where you haven't felt safe to express who you really are. All of those places, we're going to call back now, fully recalibrated to the highest vibrational frequency of love and light for your highest and best good, and to integrate in divine timing for ease and grace. So if it takes you an hour to integrate, great. If it takes you 5 minutes, great. If it takes you 2 weeks, great. Doesn't matter how long it takes for the integration, as long as it's safe and comfortable with ease and grace, freedom and flow. So just gridding this part of the activation now. Kuan Yin is stepping forward to help with this piece with a tone of self-compassion, self-love, unconditional self-esteem, confidence. Awesome. So everybody's here. I want you to plug into your soul chakra, star chakra, connecting you with the central sun to your earth's or your soul star chakra, activating your earth star chakra, connecting you to the earth, and aligning and agreeing with your oneness with all of the universe, aligning and agreeing with your oneness with all life on this planet, that you are earth in form, that you are the universe in form, that you are light and abundance and pure potential in form. And just allowing this light travel from the central sun to your star chakra, flowing down your central channel and flowing down, 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 and anchoring into your earth star chakra. And really feeling this balance and this alignment. And now we're going to activate your higher self to come forward and to feel this warmth in your heart. You can feel it as this portal of love just sitting right behind your heart. And in this portal sits this beautiful throne where your higher self sits. And a little light language is going to come through for this bit. I wish would I would wish would I wish I wish I wish I would I would I wish I would we would I wish I but I wish I oh wish would I but I wish I would I wish I would I would I wish I we wish we wish I would I would I. So that first part was just releasing anything, any heart walls, any blocks that maybe have kept you from being able to feel the higher self within you. And now seeing a light-filled scroll drop into your heart to be able to activate this awareness of your higher self sitting on the throne of your heart. Seeing him or her just beaming love, radiating out of your heart space to every cell in your body, every particle, every nanoparticle, every wave, every atom, being blessed with the love emanating from this eternal part of you, from this timeless part of you, from this magnificent, magical, creative, abundantly perfect being that you are. Everyone watching now on the replay or on the replay has got it. Congratulations, you are feeling your higher self sitting on the throne in your heart. And just let this land. Let this light that is you land. Let this love that is you land. Let this eternal part of you land. Say yes to the co-creative nature that you are. Say yes to the brilliance that you are. Say yes to the pure possibility and potentiality that you have within you at all times. Say yes to synchronicity. Say yes from going from where I was just, puddle on the floor going through a divorce. My life has fallen apart and is over. To a week later, I'm flying a plane over dolphins, right where my friend visited me from the other side a couple days ago. Anything is possible. That story, thank you for hearing it today. That story means a lot to me because anytime I forget that I have unlimited possibilities, I remember my friend saying, never forget. I wish I would have known the joy that was available to me there that I forgot while I was there. And I'm here to help you remember. So Les, I love you wherever you are. Thank you for the inspiration for me to share this story with everyone here today. I love you, brother. And to everyone who participated in this activation today, whether it was live or on the replay, thank you for being here. Thank you for allowing me the gift of receiving the gifts that I have to share. So thank all of you very much. And, if you're interested in learning about new ways that you can fly, feel free to send me a PM. And I'm always open to having conversations and supporting as I can in the moment, and seeing if I can help you in your process of expanding your wings and continuing to learn how to fly while you're flying. So I feel so grateful to be able to do this work and to be able to serve in the ways that I'm able to serve, and to watch the transformations of the people that I'm working with unfold is just a miracle. And, sometimes I don't understand it all. I step away afterwards and I'm like, whoa, that was intense. That was amazing. That was something I've never experienced before. How is this possible? When you're working in the void and you're working in the unseen, sometimes things happen that just blow your mind. And to, be able to, trust. So on that note, I'm going to bid you farewell today, and I thank you so much for being here with me live. I will be here again next week, same time, same place. And in the meantime, if you need a support call, need to talk about expanding your possibilities, activating your brilliance, getting in tune with your superpowers, I am here to help. So I look forward to seeing you next week. And until then, bye for now.